girls. I think I want to build off of what Shahrazad and Shana are saying by exploring a couple of things. One, I want to recognize that in many ways we have this competing narrative about the accomplishments of black girls. And we do see black girls as valedictorians, but we also see black girls in many spaces that are harmful. We have a tendency in our communities, in our discussions, our academic spaces, to really understand the experiences of black girls through a narrative of black boys. And so even, there's this complicated term called epistemology, right? The how we know what we know, that we have to engage when we're talking about this question about what we don't know and don't see. Because how we come to understand their experiences is made clearer when we look at what's happening among girls and just isolate girls, and then explore what's happening by race and ethnicity among girls. And so when you do that, we begin to see the disparities emerge, and we see that girls are experiencing racial disparities at higher rates than boys are experiencing racial disparities, because we have now isolated this discussion among girls. The other thing I want to really talk about, though, that we don't see is this prevailing consciousness. We don't see consciousness. We see actions, we see differential treatment, we see sort of the outcome of negative experiences, but we can't see a consciousness. And this prevailing consciousness that criminalizes girls, that renders their being, that's my favorite of the Black Girls Declaration, is the ability to be, period. That their being is perceived as something problematic, and that this criminalization that occurs is traumatizing. And so what we don't see when we see the valedictorians or when we see girls performing well, we don't see the centrality of trauma in their lives, the historical trauma and the incident-based trauma that we're all inhaling, right? The toxins we're inhaling. We were talking about breath. And so when we're talking about the prevalence of sexual violence, the traumatic experiences among girls who are not completing school, the ways in which their behaviors are read as problematic and their being is read as problematic, these are all things that we can't really see when we've masculinized their experiences in various locations. So, I think it's important for us to acknowledge that.